So, yeah, today we're going to be kind of looking at truck guns, vehicle guns, and slings that we like and go along with it. Yeah, if you have any questions about the stuff we're talking about, feel free to jump in or post in the comments and we'll answer, or post on Facebook and we'll reply back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Eric, you want to start with-
Go, Eric, we'll go left to right.
Yeah. So one of the guns that I like, obviously, my CZ Scorpion. So if it's gonna be a truck gun, to me, it's got to be something that you can, fold up. So I got a 9mm Scorpion here and a 5.56, BRN 180. And as you can see, this has got the suppressor on it, and it's relatively small. Same thing with the BRN 180. It folds up, and they can both shoot this way. So that's why I call them truck guns, because they're compact them and they still work. I like them just because this one's 9mm. I got the can on it, so I can shoot subsonic rounds, either full metal jacket, hollow point. It's gonna be soft, and back in the day, 9mm was readily available, right? So that was a big thing with me, and I really like the Scorpion platform. It works well for almost anything close, and the fact that I can have a can on it, have it folded, it just makes sense for this to be a nice little truck gun that I would take
So
around.
by close, what do you mean close? How far?
I mean, if we're ever gonna jump in a truck and go, right? So if you're gonna go camping, hiking, whatnot, if you didn't want to, especially if you're gonna be in the woods, out and about, it could be, whatever. If you felt that you need more than a handgun, I'd take this or that, right? So I mean,
So 100 yards, 200?
I would say 100 yards max, right?
Yeah.
Like especially the 9mm, the 5.56, you could definitely go a little bit more, but this one, no more than 100 yards, and especially if you're thinking about self-defense context, 100 yards is a long way.
Yeah.
Whatever, you could do a lot of things with it. So that's why I like the Scorpion.
Do you have optics on both of those and lights?
Yeah,
source,
so
or-
I don't have a light on this one. I had one that was similar to this, but it's just in a weird spot to where I hold it. So I'm trying to figure out what type of light I want on here. But definitely that's one thing that I would like to have, is just an optic and a light. But I don't know what light to put on this one just yet. I tried a few different ones. I've taken them all off because they're just not what I want yet. So I'm researching that one a lot more. I was thinking about the TLR. What's the newer one that came out with
with the IR or no?
not with the IR. There was a different one. One with the pad.
Oh.
Anyways, that's one I was thinking, because it'd be a smaller one. I could put it right up here, and it's the only issue is, like, if you can look right here, it's gonna suck back a little bit, so it can't protrude past right here because it'll run in the optics. That's the biggest thing I've run into so far, and how the rail right here, how it slants down, you lose this real estate right here. So the thing I was thinking about is just swapping this out to a different setup, like an M-Walk or something along those lines.
Forehand, yeah.
This way I get more real estate where I could put my light. So I'm back to the drawing board on that one. But
That's the nice thing about the CZ Scorpion too, because it's so popular, it's so prevalent. There's a ton of accessories for it.
Yes.
So you can get different grips, you can get different forehands. That's one of the really nice things about that. You can actually, I think, even get forehands that would that are wide enough that would go around your silencer, your suppressor there. And that would let you, give you more real estate, get the light out further too, stuff like that. But yeah, that's one of the big pluses I see for the CZ. The other thing for the CZ that I really like is there's a ton of aftermarket magazines. So Continental State Armory makes them, Magpul makes them. The CZ magazines themselves aren't that expensive. And they're good quality.
they're all like they're all about $25 ish, I think.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with the standard magazines from CZ, if you left them, fully compressed for a long period of time, they would crack, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
To me, that wasn't a big deal, because I'm not going to leave that magazine full. I'd put maybe 15, 20 and just leave it. But yeah, that wasn't a big deal to me. But yeah, a lot of aftermarket support for this, and that's why it's kind of went back to the drawing board on it because I need to figure it out. But yeah.
So do either one of these, if people are looking to get one of those, do they need extra paperwork or anything other than like the normal buying process?
Yeah, this one would for the suppressor. So obviously it's suppressor, so you need to do either Form 1 or Form 4 to get a suppressor on there. And that's pretty much that one. It's just nice and small, perfect for a truck gun if you want to go someplace. But I have a single point sling on it. Not a fan of single point slings, but I don't know how else to put a 2-point sling on here the way that I want to. So I go with the single point. You just got to remember when you run a single point sling, this end is not controlled by anything. So if you're going to be running and moving around, it's going to hit you in places where you don't want to get hit. So
or
just
burn you in places you don't want to get
yeah,
burned.
exactly. Or get burned right with the suppressor or the muzzle. So be aware of that because it's only controlled in the back end, so the front end just goes wherever. Single point slings used to be pretty popular, but now I think people mainly are running 2-point slings when they can.
But you can use that single point sling almost as a butt stock, like if you drive it out.
Yeah. So if you look, I have it almost as tight as you can get it, so I can get it over my head, just so I can get it here and then fold it up because I don't like it moving around any more than it has to. But that's personal preference of mine. But yeah, that's what I like, and I think I might be doing a whole new front end setup on this one just so I can run a 2-point sling. And put the light where I want it. But other than that, this used to be my go-to for a little while and kind of transitioned to what I'll go into next. My BRN 180. So to me, as soon as this came out, this was pretty much everything that I wanted for a while. I wanted. I don't know why, but I'm a big fan of 5.56 with a piston. Don't know why. Like when the
Adam's Arms.
The Adam's Arms came out, I did those right away. Yep. Same thing with the Tavors. I was like, perfect. Yeah, piston. Let's do this. They're just great. You can mess with the gas up front, so you can run it suppressed, not suppressed, and get it to cycle and function the way that you want. And you can shoot it in a small configured manner, right? So everything's housed in here, so you don't have to worry about the buffer going back and forth because the springs were all internal up here for that bolt to move the way that it should. So it's great. This looks like an SBR, but it's not. It's a pistol because this is a brace. So there's no additional paperwork needed. And this gun, in this configuration, I've already taken out to 300 yards, getting consistent hits on a C-zone piece of steel, right? And I've shot the best group at 100 yards ever with this in this exact configuration. Just EOTech, and I got like a nice, I don't know, quarter-size group at 100 yards, 5 shots. I was really suppressed. I sent these guys a text message right afterwards, like, this is amazing. Yeah. This is awesome. So, I can't say enough about it. The only thing I don't have on it is iron sights, which I go back and forth on irons or not. If I need them, if I want them, I have them. I go.
It's Mike's opinion.
Yeah, I know we can go.
But I got some that don't have it either.
But I just go back and forth on that for its intended use, right? Yeah. So to me, I know I swap the batteries, my EOTech once a year. I trust EOTech, so when it goes on, it's on. It's just, how do you know when you're gonna have to turn it on? Am I gonna forget? There's a lot of those things, but to me, hopefully, I remember to turn it on. But yeah, so this is my go-to pretty much truck gun now. And I have a SOB U-loop sling. I really like the sling. It comes with a little rubber band, so if you need it, all you gotta do is just pop it open. The rubber band goes flying. I really don't care about it if I'm in that much of a hurry. And it's ready to go. I got it here, and it's just in. And I can make it tight when I want. All I have to do is just pull it, and then it's tight. And when I want the slack back, all I do is press it out, and I got my slack back, and I can do whatever I want with it. So I like it, and that's pretty much my go-to is this BRN 180S, and I have the Surefire flash hider in here, so I can throw my can on it when needed. So to me, this is ready to go. Only thing I'm thinking I might need on it is iron sights, but I go back and forth on that one. That's it.
All right. Well, I kind of brought 2 of mine, and I kind of also brought the bag. So let me talk about this one first. So this is kind of like a standalone bag. I carry this just for the firearm. Got to have your medical kit, of course.
Yeah.
Got to have your American flag pet. But anyway, this is just a GoRuck Bullet. It's the name of the ruck, so it's just small ruck, and the only thing it holds in here is, a pair of gloves, and my CZ, which is not as tricked out as Eric's. I have the same sling that he does. I'd taken it off and forgot to put it back on for this morning. I just got the iron sights on here. I don't have an optic or a light on it yet, or anything, because I just got this like a while back. I just like it for the compactness, and Eric kind of talked about everything. Good to go about it, but it's a Grayman tactical rigid molly in the back here, so you can attach other things, and this is kind of still a work in progress for me. Like I said, I got to get a light and maybe an optic on here, put the sling back on, but it just kind of goes, it's purpose, like I already had the backpack and I was like, oh, that fits perfect, so that's purposely made just for that. I kind of set it up that way.
Yeah,
So-
the molly panel is cool too. If you are carrying a backpack, something like that, having that to kind of keep the backpack rigid.
Yeah, so
for getting it in and out
we
makes
do a
it-
great job on this podcast of promoting other people.
Yeah.
But Grayman Tactical, they have those different size rigid molly inserts for like all different, like Osprey bags, GoRuck bags, like all the major backpack manufacturers, and they also have some stuff that goes on the back of your car, and I just like their
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
So check them out. This is another GoRuck bag. This is actually my everyday carry bag. I carry all my crap in here. I got my computer back here right now and everything like that. All my little doodads that I need everywhere I go. But I've also, when needed, I can put my pistol in here. So I do have an optic and a light on this. I'm not sure if I like this light yet. I'm kind of got it set up. Like I was struggling kind of like you were, Eric, with like where to put it. Like I originally had it up here, but it didn't feel good. And now I got it here kind of as a 4-inch stop and a light. So you just kind of, but I don't know if I like that. Like it push down and can't see it right now. But it's just an O-light rechargeable. I do have, since I have the front sight post here that's, permanent, I do have a set of Magpul sights with the hollow sun on here. The brace, and John helped me install like 2 weeks ago, right? Or 3 weeks ago, right? This Law Tactical folder, which I got from Brownells, and I don't know, it was on back order for like a month, I think.
And I
They're a
think,
hot commodity now.
I think with the Law, I think, and don't go out and test yours with. I think with the Law Tactical side folders, I think that with the latest version, you can actually fire with it folded, but obviously it's not going to cycle.
Right.
So you
Right.
only get one shot, and
Right.
then you'd have to pull the charging handle.
Exactly,
to
so
cycle
that's a
the
great
other-
point. You gotta have, you
so-
can't fire it like yours. Like,
Right.
I have to have
so,
it.
so basically, you want to have the stock unfolded when you go to start firing it.
And then I've got on here these Vickers Blue Force slings, which is kind of the ones I like, and they're similar to what's that one that you had?
The SOB U-loop sling.
So you can make it longer, or shorter, and then you can still. I kind of like the 2-point slings because if you need to like switch sides, you can just swim under and switch, kind of easy, and it's a little. But for emergencies, like you can do that real quick with a sling and point, and then you can make it longer or shorter, and I kind of like those. I got these Blue Force slings. I think John's got one over here.
Yeah.
I got them on several weapons.
Yeah, this is what I tend to go with on most of the stuff now. I've kind of transitioned to the Blue Force.
So, I'm not a real gear nerd. I just like to get stuff that works, but my main point was I wanted something that would fit in this bag.
Yep.
So,
And we can compare like sizes too. So like with yours, and they're not too much of a difference.
No.
I think they're the same barrel length, but my
flash
flash hider for my can makes go.
Yeah,
over.
that's just the standard.
Yep. So
I've done a lot of modifications. I changed out, this is a Magpul aftermarket, changed this to the SB3 tactical brace it used to have, and and the folder, right?
Yep.
Other than that, it's really just pretty stock.
Yep.
But, so I'm a pretty vanilla guy, but you got some cool stuff.
I got some interesting. So so a couple different things. So one thing, you know, we looked at 9mm stuff a little bit with CZ Scorpion. So this one's actually it's an AR9, and kind of the reason that I brought this one was to show that. So this one actually takes Glock 9mm magazines. So if you're someone and you carry a 17 or carry a 19, you could have this in your vehicle, and this would be something, it would take the same magazines as what you're carrying. So that's kind of a neat thing about this, or an interesting way to look at it, you have magazine compatibility. So if you're carrying a spare magazine anyway, you grab this up and you got, now your magazines will fit, and you can kind of use them interchangeably. This is, it's an AR9 that I pieced together, different parts. I think it's got some Spikes Tactical, upper and lower receiver, Angstad arms, fore end, but yeah, there's a bunch of different companies out there that make them that take Glock magazines. But that's one thing to think about is, you know, compatibility, especially if you're not going to go if you're going to go with a pistol caliber. You know, having some interchangeability can be kind of a neat thing depending on what you're carrying. This one's got a silencer on the end of it. This is a Form 1, but yeah, having the ability to be quiet, and it kind of depends on, you know, what's your intended use or what's your thought. You know, I know some people will look at, if you're going on a long trip, maybe this is, you know, you're broken down, whatever, and this is your get home gun now, and you're going a longer way with it. So, you know, end of the world situation, maybe you want to be a little more discreet.
Yeah.
I think for most of us though, that's not a huge worry, concern, I guess.
Right now,
yeah, at this point. But yeah, so that's one. I like that one. But yeah, so that was kind of neat. This is one that I probably take with me the most when I'm going places. So this is it's a Aero Lower 300 Blackout. It's got a suppressor on there. What's around there? EOTech optic. And then the way I usually will carry it or backpack it is if I collapse the stock down, if I take the silencer off it, I can fit it in most backpacks. And then, you know, to get it out, deploy it, you take it out and then put the can on the end of it. I've looked at the side folding stock. I might at some point do a side folding stock. I know there's also some companies like Camino State Armory are going to come out with similar form factor, but one that you can actually fire is a piston driven, and one that you can fire with the stock folded. So when and if that comes out, hopefully we'll try one of those out too.
The BRN 180 is in 5.56 and in 300 now, and I got one buddy that's got the 300, and I plan on putting some rounds through that thing this year. Yeah. That'd
be the other one. Yeah, is trying out one of those. I like the 7.5, 8.5 inch barrel on 300 Blackout, just because it keeps everything smaller. But yeah, having the ability to fold the stock kind of helps with that too. Yeah. The reason I like 300 Blackout is because of the versatility of it. So if you're looking for something a little more quiet, you put the can on the end of it. You can shoot subsonic rounds, and you can get really quiet subsonic rounds for 300 Blackout. But then you know, and the subsonic, now you're limiting yourself to 100, 150 yards just because of bullet drop, things like that. But if you want to stretch it out further, you can switch to something like 110, 115 grain, and now it's a 300 yard gun, and you stretch a little bit further out. So that's why I like the 300 Blackout. And then for slings, I like the Blue Force Gear slings. That's kind of what around this one. One kind of interesting thing that I picked up, I was watching John Lovell,
yeah.
War Report Society, and it was the sling placement. So actually having the sling, so for me I'm right-handed, wrapping the sling around the back, so when you've got it on, and you do that transition, your sling doesn't choke you out as much, whereas if you've got it on this side and you pull it across, it's dragging the sling across right in front of you.
I actually saw that episode the other day, and I've yet to but I was going to switch it around.
It's funny because that's how mine's always on this side. Just because you go to transition, you don't want to choke yourself as much.
And it was, I did a class over the past summer with this one, and shot quite a bit through it, and kind of had this on the other side because that's where I just had positioned them for a while and had been using it, and was like kind of getting annoyed with it. And then I watched the video and I was like, why didn't I just switch it to the other side? I was like, it's some simple things, but so one of the downsides of something like this currently is I don't think I've seen 300 Blackout ammo in the store since, I don't know, middle of last year,
time.
something like that. However, we have been getting fairly steadily, every couple weeks or so, we get 7.62 by 39. So if you've got something like this, this is an AK pistol, 7.62 by 39. This one's got the side folding brace on it. It's got the optic, the light on there. This is once again a Blue Force sling. This is a sling that they actually make specifically for the AK. So it's got a loop there that you can wrap around. I know you mentioned you had the kind of the loop as well on some of yours. That's actually a pretty slick attachment method. You can put it in a bunch of different places. You can wrap it around a loop. You can tuck it in between an M-lock or key mod
or Picatinny or whatever. Yep.
Yeah, so there's that. Otherwise, there's the QD and stuff as well that you can have on there, which is slick.
Mine came with the QD mount, but I always just the 550 cord and just.
That way,
because to me, if you need it off, it still comes off relatively easy. You just outfeed it and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Is this an aftermarket brace?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So that was added too. But you can get so like Palmetto State Armory, and there's manufacturers now that have them set up to where you can do side folding ones. There's one that have the brace like Eric has on his, which looks way cooler.
But I know I'm coveting this right now.
This is okay.
Like I'm like, man, I need one of those.
It's an AK still. That's the one thing I'm just like, ugh.
I know, that's all right.
But yeah,
I already got one. There's no problem having two.
So yeah, I like that one. And then this last one is this would probably not be my first or second or third choice, but it's cool, so I wanted to bring it up. So this is actually a short barrel shotgun. So this one does require paperwork. It's got the stock on it. The other ones we have here are all considered pistols with the brace on. This one is actually a short barrel shotgun. So you got to do all the associated paperwork with that. But yeah, this one you can get the 8 and 10 round magazines, and now you got 10 rounds of 12 gauge ready to go. So. Maybe not the most practical thing, but
take a turkey hunt,
fun.
man.
Take a turkey
exactly.
Deer season.
Yeah,
Deer
exactly.
But yeah, and then like I said, Blue Force gear on most of them. But yeah, just kind of going through a couple things, and it's just things to think about when you're if you're going on a longer road trip. What's the intended purpose of it? So what are you using it for? What's the situation? And then if you had to carry it with you,
right.
set up.
I think the overlying theme in all of our weapons here is concealability, which is something that people may not have thought of, 20 or 30 years ago with the truck gun, because when it was fine to keep it in a rack, like maybe you have a longer gun, but now sensitivities and friggin' theft and everything, concealability is a factor.
Right. Yep. So that's the biggest thing. Everything here can get small and fit into a bag, which is what you want, right? If you have to, obviously your car is not a storage for your firearm.
It's not a holster or storage.
Right. So, but if you have to, you could at least have it in a bag and it's concealed, so they may not know that it's a gun.
Or you could take it with you.
Or with you, right? So I mean that's the thing you got to make sure. If you're gonna carry it, make sure you can carry it to all the places you can go, and if not, you got to be cognizant of that. So you can't just
and having a way to. So if it is something that you know that you're having with you consistently, and you are going to leave it in the vehicle for short or extended periods of time, there are different setups, ways that you can store it securely. There's things that'll go in your trunk or in a truck bed, whatever.
Lock boxes,
under seat ones, lock boxes you can throw stuff in. So yeah, those are things to think about if you are going to be keeping it for a extended period of time. We don't usually recommend that. Usually, when you get home, take it out. When you get to where you're going, if you can bring it with you, throw it in a backpack, something like that. But yeah, for those times that you're not able to do that, just making sure that you do have a secure way to keep it as secure as you can, and don't leave it out there with a bunch of Glock stickers on the back of your vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You gotta kind of blend in.
Yeah.
So you can't be that guy with the "Thou shalt not infringe," on the back of the truck, and then it's like, ooh, I know where I need to get a gun if I need it.
Right.
So
cool stuff. Just some ideas and maybe some different configurations to get you guys thinking. And
the biggest thing is if you got it, you gotta play with it, right? Get out there, use it, make sure it's it's for its intended use, and you can easily get it when you need it. So that's why I kind of like some of these are in progress, right? Because you gotta obviously things change, and you gotta adapt to that and go from there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks. This will be out when it's out.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.